Whenever you find yourself on the side of the majority, it is time to pause and reflect. So saith Mark Twain. Hello, welcome to my channel, Another Bibliophile Reads. My name is Greg, and today I want to talk about an article on the internet. The most read books on GoodReads in September 2025, according to Bookriot. Bookriot is a popular website that discusses books, upcoming books, and all topics about books. They have a particular bent, a particular flavor of the types of books that they like. I do not always agree with their recommendations and their flavor of book topics, but I do occasionally read their articles. And this one caught my attention because I'm always sort of fascinated about what books are popular, what books are the public in general reading, and why I don't really fit in with those book choices. Now, if you are not familiar with my channel, I am a 60-year-old retired computer programmer. Since retirement, I read about 200 books per year, a little over 65,000 pages in print, digital, and audio editions. So I'm a very heavy reader, but I don't read a lot of popular books. And why is that? So what I'm going to do is go through this list that Bookriot put out and discuss my opinions of these books and my chances of reading the books that were popular on GoodReads. Now, I have my own category of how I rate books and whether I will like to read them or not. It ranks from bloody hell yes, hell yes, yes, maybe no, hell no, and a bloody hell no. You are welcome to use my categorization of book choices, or you're likely to read a book if you so choose. So what I'm going to do now is talk a little bit more about this article and the books that they are highlighting. Here is what Bookriot had to say about GoodReads' top 5 popular books. From romance novels to thrillers to historical fiction, these were the most read books on GoodReads this month. As you might expect, most of the titles in the top 5 were new releases. 3 of them came out this year. The Wedding People by Alison Espach came out in mid-2024, but The Housemaid by Freida McFadden came out in 2022. There is a simple explanation, though, which is that The Housemaid has a movie adaptation coming out later this year. Will you be watching? Not me. Before getting into the top 5 books on GoodReads, Bookriot has a few recommendations of their own. 3 new books out in September you should know about. Unfortunately, the most read books on GoodReads tend not to be diverse by any definition of the word. So here are a few new books out last month that deserve wider readership. To the Moon and Back by Eliana Ramage is about Steph, who is determined to become the first Cherokee astronaut. We also follow her sister, an indigenous artist and social media influencer, her mother, who is keeping secrets about her past, and Steph's college girlfriend, whose custody case between her Cherokee biological father and white adoptive parents made her a household name as a toddler. It is a fascinating and complex literary fiction novel that I hope you will get you attention it deserves. For me, this is just a maybe. I am sort of fascinated with the space program, but not all that fascinated. And Life's about the Cherokee Indians could be interesting, but this one just does not spark my interest. So this is just a maybe. Mother Mary Comes to Me by Arundhati Roy. Legendary writer Arundhati Roy writes about her experience growing up with a single mother in India. Her mother, Mary passed away in 2022, and Roy was startled by the depth of her grief. She began to write about her mother to be able to continue to love her. Roy's first memoir is a stunning rumination on grieving and the messiness of truly loving someone. For me, this is going to be a hell no. I did read her first novel, The God of Small Things, and that was a pretty darn good novel. But memoirs, in general, are not my thing. Memoirs about parents are definitely not my thing. Too many authors are too fascinated about their mothers or their fathers, and even though, yes, I had a mother and father, I'm not fascinated by them. I have no interest in exploring people's relationship to their parents. Just not my thing. Fate's Bane by C.L. Clarke. Agner has grown up a captive of an enemy clan, a part of their world for as long as she can remember. When her love for the chieftain's daughter reveals a magic that could bind her family and their enemy together, or destroy them, they must decide what they will sacrifice to keep the peace. I read fantasy on occasion. It is not my go-to genre. This appears to be a lesbian romance fantasy, just by this description. So for me, that's going to be a no. Neither of those two topics really fascinate me. Let someone else enjoy this type of book. Okay, now we get into the top 5 books on GoodReads last September. Number 5, Great Big Beautiful Life by Emily Henry. Emily Henry is a staple author on the bestseller list and the GoodReads most read list, so it's no surprise to see her newest title here. It follows 2 writers competing to write the official biography of reclusive heiress. It was read by 48,000 users in September and has an average of 4.0 rating. This is a bloody hell no. This is a novel way outside my demographic. I don't read romance stories in general, and this one would probably just give me all sorts of conniption fits. Bloody hell no. Number 4, The Wedding People by Alison Espach. This read with Jenna pick follows Phoebe, a suicidal woman who has decided to give herself one last splurge at the Cornwall Inn. When she arrives, everyone assumes she's there for the wedding, and she and the bride end up confiding to each other. This was read by almost 58,000 users with a 4.1 average rating. This is, of course, a bloody hell no. It starts off as a read with Jenna pick. I'm, generally speaking, not going to be reading with Jenna, but this one just sounds enormously tacky. 2 women confiding to each other, growing a deep and meaningful friendship. Bloody hell no. Number 3, The Housemaid by Freida McFadden. This is the first book in the Housemaid series. It's about a housemaid who cleans for a wealthy family, takes care of their child, and lives in their attic bedroom. She's soon pulled into the family's dangerous secrets, but her employers may have underestimated what she's capable of. It was read by almost 69,000 GoodReads users with a 4.3 average rating. This is a maybe for me. I do like a good thriller now and then. She's very popular, this Freida McFadden, but I've heard that her endings are a little wild and a little implausible, and I never really liked the implausible stories so much. But again, I could enjoy this reading of this book if I picked it up real cheap from the library, so it's a maybe. Number 2, Atmosphere by Taylor Jenkins Reid. Taylor Jenkins Reid is best known for The Seven Husbands of Evelyn Hugo and Daisy Jones and the Six. Now she's back with a new novel about two women astronauts in the 1980s. It came out in June, became an instant #1 New York Times bestseller. It's also a Good Morning America book club pick. 76,000 GoodReads users marked it read last month, and it has a 4.4 average rating. This is a maybe. I do have The Seven Husbands of Evelyn Hugo on my Kindle to read eventually. I'm actually looking forward to that. Daisy Jones and the Six is sort of a novel about not Fleetwood Mac. I'm a little less interested in that one. Now, this one is, again, about astronauts. Astronauts can be very interesting, but before I would pick up Atmosphere, I would definitely want to read The Seven Husbands of Evelyn Hugo first. So this is only a maybe. #1, Wild Card by Elsie Silver. This is the 4th book in the Rose Hill series, all about single dads who find their happily ever afters in a rugged lake town nestled in the Rocky Mountains. In Wild Card, Sebastian is a pilot with smoldering chemistry with his new roommate, Gwen, who also happens to be the ex-girlfriend of his estranged son. If he ever hopes to repair the relationship, she's strictly off limits. But how can they deny the sparks flying between them? Almost 80,000 users marked it as read in September, and it has an average of 4.2 rating. This one cannot be a bloody hell no. This should need the effing bloody hell no. Not an official rating for me, but it does deserve those effing. Any book that strives for a happily ever after ending automatically gets the bloody hell no rating. That is not something that I ever want to pick up and read by my own volition. Point a gun to my head, I would say, okay, I'll take the bullet. Don't make me read this book. It just sounds like something I would never in a quadrillion years want to read. So those were the 5 most popular books read on GoodReads in September. The fact that 2 were maybes is kind of extraordinary. Usually it'd be some form of no all across the board. But what about you? Would you be interested in these 5 popular books on GoodReads, or the 3 books that need attention according to Book Riot? Please leave your thoughts in the comments of this video. Thank you for watching, and keep on reading.